Good morning, Southwest Florida, and welcome to Saving the Investor. I'm Alfie Townsend, and if you're one of the millions that are concerned about higher taxes, inflation, and the national debt, you're in the right place.
Coming up on today's show, important Social Security tax deductions, rock-solid retirement planning, making difficult money decisions, and much more.
Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group. Alfie is a published author, radio show host, speaker, and industry leader.
Why do you use an annuity? A lot of people use it for the wrong thing.
He works with retirees and pre-retirees to build and protect their nest egg and offers his experience to help those concerned about financial independence in retirement. If you've got questions about retirement, Saving the Investor starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. It is good to have you with us. I'm Craig Wolf alongside Alfie Townsend, who is a certified financial planner and professional. Alfie, let's talk about taxes. Originally, we were going to talk about reducing taxes on Social Security, but as you mentioned, we need to broaden it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about Social Security. As we've mentioned in other segments on the show, it wasn't supposed to be taxed when it was created by Roosevelt back in the 1930s. So, in a broad sense, let's start with Social Security and reducing taxes on that.
So one of the ways is just don't work. But we don't want to do that because you got to work.
A lot of people who collect Social Security are working.
Yeah, or if you have a pension, it's going to affect your Social Security.
Right.
So I always say the planning really starts before you turn Social Security on or before your required minimum distribution starts, because you might not be paying on your Social Security right now, but then once you're 72, then you have to take what we call required minimum distributions. And then that money comes and counts as 100% for income. So by taking your required minimum distribution, it's most likely going to jack your taxes up on your Social Security. You're going to have to pay on Social Security. You're going to have to pay on your money that you take out. It's going to, if you make money in the bank, if you make dividends. So
a pension you mentioned also.
A pension, correct? Absolutely. So, you can't hide a pension, but what you can do is you can start taking some of your IRAs and start do some Roth conversions. We have other programs that we can put as much as we want in to get some tax-free money. The best income in retirement would be tax-free. So tax-free would be some of the Roth conversion programs that we use, and the super Roth we call it. That one could be something that you can take money out and it doesn't count towards your income. That's a great thing. I mean, that's awesome. When you can take money out, if you need $50,000, you take that out and pay zero taxes when we know taxes are going to go up in the future. So anything you can do now to get tax-free money. Now, the other things people will do is if they don't really need the income, but their investments are creating income. So what we can do is put that in something tax deferred and only pay taxes when they need it. They can take it out, but they don't get 1099 on tax deferred income. So there's vehicles over there you can have tax deferred and let your money still grow, but you don't pay taxes on it each and every year as you let it sit.
You've mentioned in the past, we've talked about it. We have a radio show Sunday mornings, also called Saving the Investor on 92.5 Fox. We have these tax hikes that are looming.
Yeah.
You've mentioned they might be the largest hikes, because we're in a low tax environment now, but these hikes might be the largest in almost 30 years. Is that correct?
It sure is. And if that happens, it will be the largest in 30 years. So we are right now, even though you think you're paying a lot of money in taxes, because any money is a lot of money, we feel, but some people are paying 35, 37%. If you're up north, that's why people become residents of Florida. Because if you're up north, you're paying not just the 35%, 25%, then you have to add your state tax, 10% on there. And if you're in New York, you're looking at 60%, 50% tax on your money. And the new one, they want to jack it up to, I saw this article and it was talking about New York would have a 67% tax, with all the taxes that you add. So you got to be very careful. and you have to do planning now for the future to combat that, because that's going to be our number one. The tax map is the thing to do. The tax map explains all that to you and how much you would be paying and how much you would save. So, we talk about our tax map, and I think that's something that people need to really find out if they can put themselves in a better position for the future.
You beat me to the punch a bit on the tax map. You've been doing this for about 40 years. There was no technology when you started, and the technology that you use is pretty amazing. And does the tax map fall into being a tool where you take advantage of technology?
One of our better tools that we have is a tax map that looks at your whole picture, and it really helps us really design a customized plan for each and every person to put them in a position that they're not going to be burdened with taxes down the road. And that's do some planning now or down the road later.
All right, some news you can use from Alfie this morning.
Thank you.
We're glad you're with us. There's more to come on Saving the Investor.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
If you're concerned about creating your dream retirement, I have just the book for you. Unlike most books on investing, it doesn't require a large investment of your time. It's not filled with financial jargon and difficult to understand explanations. It's an easy read filled with valuable insights, so valuable in fact that anyone who's soon to be or already retired should have a copy on their shelf. And today, it can be yours at absolutely no cost. It's called Making Waves in Retirement, written by Alfie Townshend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional, radio show host, and TV personality. Making Waves in Retirement breaks down the insights that Alfie's gained over his 4 decades of helping people just like you plan for retirement. Real stories about real people, illustrating what they've done wrong and what they've done right. Strategies to help retirees and those soon to be retired make the right decisions and avoid costly mistakes. If you save for retirement, this is the book for you. Get your complimentary copy today simply by being one of the first 5 callers. The number to dial is 239-747-1080. That's 239-747-1080. There are no strings attached, so if you're interested in living your dream retirement, you have nothing to lose and quite possibly much to gain.
I am very excited about our new book. And our old book was Keeping on the Retirement Fairway. It was talked about golf, and many of you got that book. And this is our new book, and it's really Making Waves in Retirement. And we want, you want to make waves in retirement. You don't want to just retire and sit and, play golf here and there and just sit around on the couch. You want to make waves. You want to make a difference. And when it comes to making a difference, a lot of people say, how can I make a difference if we know we have this tax, tidal wave that's coming in the future? We have such debt. I don't mean to be negative. I'm an optimistic person, but if I'm a betting person, I'm going to say taxes are going to go up more than down. Now, I think you would say the same thing. We have to worry about the debt that we have. There's a lot of spending going on and more spending that's coming. So we have to plan for higher taxes. How do we plan for higher taxes? We want to look at Roth conversions. Now, is a Roth conversion right for you? It might be, it might not. We have a program that we can put your numbers in, and it will tell us if your Part B is going to be hit. That's your Medicare Part B, your Part D. How much of that is going to be taxed? And then it tells us what tax bracket you're in, your marginal tax rate, your average tax rate, tells you everything. So a lot of times people say, I'm going to do a Roth conversion. Then, I run the numbers for them and say, whoa, I didn't know it was going to be that much. So you want to make sure you don't just do a Roth conversion. A lot of times we work close by with your CPA. If you don't have a CPA, we have a CPA that we can refer you to. And we'll talk about Roth conversions. We'll talk about trying to get some money out now. It's like pay me now or pay me later. But if we can take some money out now, if we know taxes are going to go up in the future, just think if you can reduce your your money that's in your IRA, if we can reduce that money now before you're 72, that's when you have to start taking monies out of your IRA. If we can start planning now, and if your advisor isn't talking about doing some planning, you might have outgrown your advisor. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. And let us look at your situation, see if we can do planning now to have tax-free money later. Just think about it. If taxes are at the lowest they are in years right now, we know what they are now. We don't know what they are going to be in the future. So this is what we have to do to take advantage of current tax laws for the future. So give us a call, and what we'll do is we'll put that tax map together for you and see what we can do for you.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters. Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.
Looming tax hikes could have a dramatic impact on you and your family. Certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend has a tool. It's called Tax Map. It's designed to ease the impact of what will likely be the biggest tax hike in nearly 30 years. Alfie's Tax Map can help you lower your tax bracket, protect your money when taxes rise, and create tax-free income. High net worth investors employ Alfie's Tax Map strategies to protect their savings and preserve their legacy. And if you're one of the first 9 callers right now, you can too. Call 239-747-1080. That's 239-747-1080. This complimentary tax map is only available to the first 9 callers right now, so don't wait. Again, 239-747-1080. The time to reduce future taxes and create tax-free income is right now. Call and ask for Alfie's Tax Map, 239-747-1080.
You've got questions, and Alfie has the answers that will keep you on the retirement fairway. I've been saving for retirement for years now, and I'm considering working with a financial planner. Can you tell me the types of services you offer and how they could benefit me?
So when you're looking for a financial planner, what you want to look at is just not investments. A lot of times that people come in and they want to see what we can do with investments, but it's a lot more than investing, because right now interest rates are so low. So you have to create income from your investments. So we have to do income planning. We have to look at investments, and we have to look at taxes. Taxes are definitely going to be going up in the future. So if they're going to go up, we want to take that in consideration. So we want to do some tax harvesting. We want to look at income planning, and we want to look at investments and put a holistic plan together for you instead of just one aspect.
I'm still a little way from retirement, but I'm worried about tax increases. What can I do to protect myself?
A lot of people are worried about tax increases because it's most likely what's going to happen. We're probably going to have higher taxes in the future. We have a high debt. When you have a high debt, the one way to get that thing paid down is raise your tax bracket. So if you can do some Roths right now, if you do a Roth conversion, if you do some tax planning, a lot of times you can do it with a life insurance policy. Believe it or not, there's ways to do it in a life insurance policy. You're young enough where you can put that extra monies in and be able to take that money out tax-free down the road. But there are ways to really lower your taxes and increase your returns down the road by not having to pay taxes when you're taking that money out. But planning is important with higher tax in the future.
I hear people talking about active and passive investing. Can you explain the difference? And is one better than the other?
So you have 2 philosophies. You have active on one hand and passive on the other hand. What does that mean? In the short term, what it means is this. If you have a portfolio that's actively managed, that means they're going to make changes. They're going to change based on sectors. I'm more of a active. I like active because let's just say, look, we had 2020 a while ago. 2020, the international funds were doing awful. We were able to take money out of the international, move it over to the U.S., and had a great year in 2020. But what happens with passive, typically you build a portfolio and you leave it and you rebalance. So it's more of a buy and hold opposed to making changes. Now, they both will work, but I tend to like the active much more because you can make changes.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
When you're nearing retirement, it's important that your plan includes the proper steps to make an efficient and effective transition. There's a lot to consider. Will your income plan meet your lifestyle? How should you reallocate your assets? Is your withdrawal plan tax efficient? Practice does make perfect, but you only retire once. So how do you know you're making the right decisions and avoiding costly mistakes? Well, it's simple. Call Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional. Alfie has more than 30 years of experience helping people just like you transition into retirement. So be one of the first 5 callers and get your complimentary retirement transition review. Call 239-747-1080. There is no cost and no strings attached. So call now, 239-747-1080. Your retirement transition review includes key deadline schedules, asset reallocation guidance, income plan analysis, and tax-efficient withdrawal strategies. Again, be one of the first 5 callers now, and this review is yours at no cost. Call 239-747-1080. You only retire once, so let's get this right. Call Alfie now.
Welcome to another segment of Team Talk. I'm Mary Thompson in studio with Alfie Townsend, our founder and president. Alfie, I am very excited about your new book, Making Waves in Retirement. This is awesome, and you have a lot of boating analogies in here. And I remember, you moved here in 2008, and the housing market was very turbulent right around that time. And you came here because of boating and family. But that was a difficult time to be making a transition. Let's talk a little bit about that.
It was. I had a very successful practice in Maryland, and my mom's health wasn't that good, and I wanted to be closer to her. So we just really packed up and moved over here and started our advanced retirement group here in Southwest Florida. And it was 2008. It was a good time for us because the market was good to buy. Housing market started really going down in 08, 09. It was down a little bit more even. But people that were buying homes in 2005 and 2006, they were buying at the height. But it was a different market. When we moved here, yes, we got a good deal on our home because the market was going down. There was so much to pick from, but it was a banking problem too. It was the housing market, the banking, the financials, everything was going down. And one of the reasons was these subprime mortgages. They were loaning money to everybody and anybody too. I mean, people could have very low income, have 2 or 3 homes. You're not seeing that right now. So people will come into our office, say, is the market too high? Is the housing bubble going to bust? Is the market going to tank? You just don't know. But it's a different feeling right now because the housing market really started picking up here after the pandemic. Okay, and I think it's mostly because the governors around. I didn't realize the governor has so much power in every state. And that was one thing that I did learn through COVID, that the governors really have a lot of weight, for the state. So when that happened, a lot of people said, we like the way that Florida handled it. We liked that these states that the governors seem to have done a much better job with their residents. These are the states that are really getting increase in real estate because they're coming and buying a second home. Some people are moving here full time, buying a first home, especially here in Southwest Florida. But they're not mortgaging the home. Right. They're paying cash for it. A lot of them are paying cash or very little mortgage. It's not like it was in 05, 06. So it's a different feeling. Could the market come down a little bit? Yeah, the housing market could come down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to come crashing down like it was in 05. That was a whole different reason why that went down. It was just the subprime mortgages. So then the stock market, is the stock market too high? Well, you can wait and wait and wait. I remember, I've been doing this for almost 40 years. So I remember different times people say the market's too high when it was at 18,000. Do I want to wait on the sideline? Because I have all this cash, I don't want to get in high. Well, there's ways to get into the market that has some buffers in there where it's going to protect it on the downside. There's also things you can dollar cost average it in there, but the wait on the sideline is not the thing to do, because if you think about the economy is strong, we do have inflation we have to deal with, so the market is the best fighter for inflation. So these are things that, when I have these conversations with people that come in, they start to think a little bit different. They say, I didn't really think of it that way. And you just think of it as high. Well, if they would have kept their money out in 2021 because the market was high then, they would have lost, a 20-something% return. So you want to take the emotion out of investing and get facts opposed to, feelings and what ifs.
That's right. And you do talk a lot about that in your book, taking the emotion out of investing.
Yes.
So I love that. If you'd like to get a copy of Alfie's book, go ahead and go to our website, savingtheinvestor.com, and we'll get that right out to you. Stay tuned for more Saving the Investor.
Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080. You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
You've built a nest egg from your years of work, and now you're retired or you're about to. What are your plans for those hard-earned dollars? Putting money away is one thing, but you need a holistic strategy for many different reasons. Whether it's reducing taxes, generating income, minimizing risk, or maximizing Social Security, what counts is what you do with your money. And that's where our retirement simulator can help. Let us give you, at no charge with no obligation, a look inside your portfolio to see what's really going on. Our retirement simulator will put your financial plan through a strenuous test and identify weaknesses that we need to address. What we show you may well surprise you, and what you find out could save you big time. Give certified financial planner Alfie Townsend a call. For more than 3 decades, he's been helping people just like you. If you save $500,000 or more, call Alfie at 239-747-1080. What you learn from our retirement simulator could end up adding more to your retirement than you ever imagined. Call Alfie at 239-747-1080. You've got nothing to lose and may have a whole lot to gain.
What do you do with your RMDs if you don't need the money? There's people out there that planned for retirement, but they have all this IRA money, and now they're 72, and they have to start taking money out of their required minimum distribution, out of their IRAs. But they don't need all the money. So what some of our clients do is they allow us, using Fidelity, to send it directly to their church or to their favorite charity, and then that way their required minimum distribution is being met by taking the money out of your account and moving it over to your church or your charity without you touching it. That's the key. You're not supposed to touch it. We can get it out for you. By doing that, you don't get a 1099. That's a great thing. You do not have to pay tax on that money. Without doing that, let's look at what would happen. Without doing that, you would get your required minimum distribution, then you would take that required minimum distribution and give to the charity. Well, if you're not itemizing, you don't get to deduct it, okay? This is a way to take the standard deduction right now, take the standard deduction, it's about $26,000 off your taxes if you're married, okay, about $12,000 if you're not. So you get that deduction, and the money that comes out of your IRA accounts that goes right to your church or right to your charities, that does not count for income for you. So that's the way you get it out of there. So that's really the government allows people to do that. The ironic thing is a lot of advisors don't advise their clients to do that. Now, we do have a lot of advisors that watch this TV show, so I just gave you some good information to tell your clients, hopefully, because everybody needs to be doing this if you're not needing your distribution. So that's one of the techniques that we're going to use. Another one would be doing some planning before you have to start taking your required minimum distributions out to get that dollar amount smaller by the time you're 72. So tax planning right now, I always say I think is one of the most important things, because we know taxes are going up in the future. So this is why you want to get your tax map that's customized for you. Give us a call.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters. Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.
Retirement gives you long-awaited opportunities. You finally gain control over how you spend your time. But you also need control of your investments, of your hard-earned money. There are a lot of moving parts, and just saving over the years is the first part. What about generating income, your Social Security, minimizing taxes, or managing risk? If you save for retirement, call us at 239-747-1080. Retirement can last more than 20 years, yet many people don't have enough money saved to get through 1 decade, let alone 2. Call us at 239-747-1080. Let us show you how to make your nest egg go the distance. That's 239-747-1080.
Mondo Uomo specializes in remarkable clothing for the remarkable man, like our exclusive selection of Bugatti and St. Croix shirts and sweaters. Visit our store in Naples at the Village on Venetian Bay or online at mondouomo.com.
Remember the Wall Street bailouts? Those same big banks and financial firms have been fined billions for misleading customers. And now they want to manage your retirement savings. Why would you trust them? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional. My values are Main Street, not Wall Street. As an independent advisor, I don't work for shareholders, I work for you. If you want a fresh start with a local advisor, give me a call today.
Mondo Uomo offers a remarkable selection of the latest styles in menswear. Visit Mondo Uomo at the Village on Venetian Bay in Naples. Alberto, Bugatti, St. Croix, Zanella. Come see what remarkable shopping is all about.
Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.